This is a deeply moving story of resilience, maternal foresight, and the painful process of outgrowing a home that no longer feels safe. It captures that specific ache of losing a parent only to realize they are still shielding you from beyond the grave. Since you asked for it to be written in the same style, here is the narrative preserved in its original, poignant English structure. The Silent Shield. I was 17 when my mom died, and if I'm being honest, a part of me died with her. People always say time heals everything, but no one tells you what it feels like in the beginning, when every second feels heavier than the last, when silence becomes louder than noise. Before everything fell apart, my life was simple. It was just me and my mom. We didn't have a big house. We didn't go on expensive vacations, but we had something better. We had each other. Every morning, she would wake me up with the same soft voice. "Emily, get up, you're going to be late." And I'd always pretend to be asleep, just so she would sit beside me a little longer. Those small moments, they don't feel important at the time, but they become everything when they're gone. My dad was there, technically, but emotionally, not really. He was always busy, always working, always somewhere else. Dinner conversations were short, awkward. Sometimes it felt like we were strangers pretending to be a family. But my mom never complained. She carried everything on her own shoulders. And she did it with a smile. I remember one night, I couldn't sleep. I walked into the kitchen and found her sitting at the table. Papers spread everywhere. Bills, notes, calculations. She looked tired. Really tired. "Mom, are you okay?" I asked. She quickly smiled. "Of course, sweetheart. Just planning for the future." I didn't think much of it. I wish I had. Then came the change. At first, it was small. She started forgetting things. Simple things. Where she placed her phone, what she was about to say. Then came the headaches. The kind that made her sit down suddenly, holding her head like everything was spinning. I told her to see a doctor. She kept saying, "It's nothing," but it wasn't nothing. The hospital visit changed everything. I still remember sitting in that cold room, staring at the white walls, feeling like something bad was about to happen. The doctor walked in. Serious face, quiet tone, and then stage 4 cancer. It didn't feel real. It felt like a bad dream. I looked at my mom, expecting fear, panic. But she just held my hand, tight, and smiled. That smile broke me more than anything else. The following months were a blur of pain and quiet strength. Chemotherapy. Hospital visits. Sleepless nights. I watched her get weaker every day. But she never stopped being strong for me. Not even once. Sometimes I would catch her staring at me, like she was memorizing my face. And now I know she was. One evening, the sky outside was turning orange. She called me closer. "Sit with me," she whispered. I sat beside her, holding her fragile hand. "Emily, promise me something." "Anything." "Promise me you'll never let anyone control your life." I nodded. But then she added something that stayed with me forever. "No matter what happens, don't let anyone take what's yours." Her voice was weak, but her words were strong. I didn't understand it back then, but I never forgot it. A week later, she was gone. After the funeral, everything felt empty. The house, the walls, even the air felt different. Her absence wasn't just emotional. It was everywhere. And before I even had time to process it, my life changed again. 2 months later, my dad remarried. Just like that. No warning, no conversation. Her name was Carol. And from the moment I saw her, I knew something wasn't right. At first, she acted perfect. Too perfect. Always smiling. Always pretending to care. "Emily, do you need anything?" "Emily, I made your favorite food." But something about her felt rehearsed, like she was playing a role. And I was the audience she was trying to convince. Slowly, the mask started to slip. Little comments, little looks, small things that didn't seem like much but felt wrong. She would ask questions like, "So, your mom didn't leave anything behind?" Or, "She worked so much, she must have saved something, right?" At the time, I didn't realize what she was doing. Now I do. She was searching. Then one day, I got the call from a lawyer. His office smelled like old books and polished wood. He spoke calmly, professionally. But what he told me changed everything. My mom had left me $400,000, all in a secure trust. Protected. Untouchable. Mine. I couldn't believe it. All those nights she spent working late, all those papers on the table, she had been building my future. Quietly, secretly, selflessly. For the first time since she died, I felt safe, like she was still protecting me, even from beyond. But safety doesn't last long when the wrong people find out. Carol found out. I don't know how, but she did. And everything changed. The house felt colder. Her kindness disappeared. Her tone changed. Her patience vanished. And one night, everything finally came out. We were sitting at the dinner table. Silence filled the room. Then she put her fork down and looked straight at me. "Emily, we need to talk." My heart started racing. "It's about the money." There it was. No pretending anymore. No fake smiles. Just truth. Ugly, greedy truth. "You're part of this family now," she said calmly. "That money should be shared." I couldn't speak. I couldn't even breathe properly. Then my dad said something that shattered me. "Your mom would have wanted this." In that moment, I realized something painful. I wasn't just losing my mom. I was losing my dad too. That night, I didn't cry. Not because it didn't hurt, but because something inside me had changed. Something had hardened. And then I remembered her words. Clear, strong, unforgettable. "Don't let anyone take what's yours." The next morning, I made my move. I walked into the kitchen. Calm, quiet, in control. They were both there, waiting, expecting me to give in. Instead, I placed a sealed envelope on the table. "This is from Mom's lawyer." Carol smiled, confident, certain. She thought she had already won. My dad opened the envelope, and everything changed. His face turned pale. His hands started shaking. Carol leaned closer. "What is it?" she asked. But he didn't answer, because the truth was finally unfolding. The letter was from my mom. And it wasn't just a letter. It was a warning, a plan, a shield. If anyone attempts to pressure my daughter, they will lose all rights to her life. Silence filled the room. Heavy, uncomfortable, real. And then came the final blow. A hidden clause in the trust. Powerful, unbreakable. If I reported emotional or financial pressure, I could legally cut them off. Completely. My dad dropped the paper. Tears filled his eyes. "I didn't know," he whispered. But it didn't matter anymore, because now I knew everything. Carol panicked. "This is manipulation," she shouted. But it wasn't. It was protection. Within days, I contacted the lawyer, told him everything, and took control of my life. At 17, I left that house. Not because I wanted to, but because I had to. My dad called me. Again, and again, and again. But I never answered. Because sometimes, the hardest decisions are the right ones. Years passed. Life moved on. I built something of my own. Used that money wisely. Education. Independence. Freedom. And one day, I finally understood something. My mom didn't just leave me money. She left me strength. She left me protection. She left me a future. And most importantly, she made sure that even in her absence, I would never be alone.